And welcome once again to Investor's Edge. I'm Gary Kaltbaum, your host. Hey, thanks for being with us today. Glad you're here, ladies and gentlemen. Happy that you are listening. It's the 16th December, 2025. Hope you are having a good day. As you know, serious talk on everything that affects you. We'll do the markets, the economy, your job, your industry, the Morlocks in D.C. and all the crap that comes out of them, and anything else we think matters to you, our future, and all that. If you do not get this radio show in your city, we'll post it at GaryK.com. We'll also post it on our X feed. If you don't follow us on X, you should. You just put our name in. We'll also post it on the YouTube channel of BizTV as well as other podcast apps. If you'd like to email me, just be nice. And by the way, everybody's been nice. I've gotten one nasty in months. Some jackass who couldn't argue anything I had to say. And it's okay. You know what I'd say to everybody? Is it okay to disagree? And I think everybody gets it at this point. It is. As long as you don't like Hamas. Fair enough? We do have a bunch to cover today. I'm going to tell you that the Dow was down 302. But the S&P was only down 16 because the NASDAQ was up 54 and the NASDAQ 100 was up 65. I'll tell you why in a little bit. Well, I could just say up front, revenge of some of the big names helped out today. We'll get into that. But there are a few other things of note that I do want to cover, and that is of import. So I pulled out some notes. And these are notes for the future of what may or may not happen. And I'm going to start with Oracle. Because I watch what you watch. I'm on TV with people. And I get a feel. I believe I get a good feel for the masses and stuff. And as you know, the biggest noise on Wall Street is artificial intelligence. And what we think we do very well here is ask questions. Not of anybody, but I just ask questions out loud. Because we've been told, and to this day, I heard a few people out there today, artificial intelligence is going to be, and you can imagine how bullish they are. They're usually bullish. And for the record, we hope they're right. We hope they're right. No, really, we hope they're right. Just because we are skeptics does not mean we don't hope they're right. We want markets to go up. We'd love to see the artificial intelligence stocks go to the moon. But we ask questions. The first question, and it really is an easy, simple question to ask. If things are so good, and Oracle back in September announced a backlog of $500 billion. I'm sorry. By the way, I'm not kidding. If things are so good and Oracle's announced, get the latest, has $248 billion of AI cloud data center lease commitments. This is up from $150 billion from the $99 billion in commitments reported at the end of August. If things are so good, why is the stock gone from 346 to 187? If things are so good Why are their credit default swaps skyrocketing to levels not seen since 2008? Oh, because free cash flow has been collapsing. If things are so good, by the way, we're talking markets here, why are bondholders now sitting on a 9% unrealized loss on $18 billion of debt issued just this September, with the bonds now falling to junk rating? You see, if you all have listened to me and listened carefully, we think the markets are really smart. And we've proven it to you. Do you remember when we were the only ones on Wall Street cursing out Jay Powell when he was printing money? And when he stopped printing money, do you remember it was us that are saying, oh, look at the 10-year yield go. They're no longer printing money, so they're not buying the bonds with fake money and forcing rates down. The real free market is taken over, and it's an uh-oh moment. It's caused the bear market. It caused the inflation, and it caused Jay Powell to play catch-up. And all we did at the time was ask questions. So our one question is Oracle. But it's not just Oracle. Why is Microsoft so darn weak? And they told us it's purely artificial intelligence. Why did Broadcom just crash in the past 2 days, from 405 to 340 on their earnings report? Why is Supermicro down 50%? Why has CoreWeave's bonds been blasted and the stock's gone from 187 to 69.5 while they're out there telling you must own? So I don't know what Credo, VRT, the data centers just got blasted for 20%. So instead of listening to people's opinions, who are very often late in the game, and it's proven to be, we have to listen to what the markets tell us, because markets are genius. Not all the time. And you know what the big standout was, right? Those that have listened to this show going all the way back to 2007. Do you remember what happened during that year leading up to 2008 and the devastation in the financials? We're on this show every day saying the financials are really underperforming. The Dow just went up 1,000 points and the financials didn't even budge. Oh, the Dow just dropped 1,000 points and the financials led down. Something is up with the banks and the financials. That's all we said. We had no idea what would happen. We didn't know Merrill Lynch and Countrywide and all these companies out of business. We didn't know. But the market sure did. You go back to that year, you will see the market caved and the banks led down. And then the market rallied up 1,000 and the banks didn't budge. And as soon as the market topped, the banks caved again. And then when all was said and done, Bear Stearns, Merrill, Lehman, Countrywide, Wachovia, what was Washington Mutual also? The market knew it. The market showed the way in advance, while everybody's saying, don't worry. And everybody is saying, don't worry about artificial intelligence, while the market's saying otherwise. Oh, by the way, NVIDIA remains on the ledge. Still hanging in there. Only down about, let's see, from the highs, 212 to 178. 2234. What is that? About, that's not bad. 2234, 16%. That's no big deal. That's a correction. It better hold. So anyway, just letting you know, while everybody is sanguine, the market, and by the way, I haven't mentioned advanced micro devices. ARM Holdings. These are all artificial intelligence names. Taiwan Semis trade, not bad, but trading below the 50-day. We were told. So we just want to start with that because I'm getting more information in about the bonds, which, by the way, pretty much matter more than the stocks. Up next, lots for you. Listen up. I'm Gary. This is the one and only Investor's Edge. So let me give you one more in my little bag of tricks. Anybody heard of a company called Fermi? F-E-R-M-I, symbol F-R-M-I. So in case you don't know, it came public in October at $21. Opened at around 30. The next day hit 37. Not making this up. At $37, you know, I actually have to take out my calculator just to give you an exact number. 37 times 614. At the highs, the day after it opened, had a $22.7 billion market cap. Let me repeat that. If you bought the stock the second day, had a $22.7 billion market cap. At the IPO, times, they brought it out at almost a $13 billion market cap. They have no sales. Wall Street hates you. Do not forget that. They brought out an initial public offering at a $13 billion market cap. At the initial public offering, you were paying $13 billion for a company with no sales. What I say, it hit 37. It was a $21 IPO. It's $9.69 and still has almost a $6 billion market cap with no sales. Did I tell you that I guess they're going to develop data centers or something? Oh, they lost their first tenant for their massive Texas data center. And the stock dropped big that day. By the way, we're not ripping on the company. We're ripping on Wall Street. They hate you. It's like the Republicans and the Democrats hate you. It's like the governor of California hates his citizens. Have you seen what gas is in California, by the way? Just off the beaten path for a second. They hate their citizens, yet the citizens keep voting for those same people. They're insane. So just letting you know, they have something called the Project Matador site. This, and this. And it's still got a $6 billion market cap. We'll see how it plays out. But all I can tell you is, all evidence in so far, the market's worried. Let me put it better. The market is really worried. And we hope you listen to us. Do you know we had Oracle? And we played it by the book. I think we sold at 303. And I think we made $1. It's 188. And I would have never believed that sucker'd be 188. I would have never believed it. Let's continue. I have a very important sector to point out. We had said to you recently, there's a few oils that are strong, but we're not touching the oils because there's too many in bad shape. We'll just leave them be. Well, we're just letting you know the oil ETFs rolled over badly today, which is good news at the pump. Oil price is down another $1.66 today, down to 50. I mean, just down, way down. Oil prices breaking down here. This is great news at the pump, except if you own oil stocks. So when you have a chance, go look at the OIH, try to break out, failed miserably, rolling over, and that's the strongest of the ETFs. The XOP's a goner, and the big oil XLE's a goner. So just letting you know. Avoid the oils. And we had an avoid on it anyhow, but doubly avoid. How's that? Doubly avoid the oils. But again, very good news at the pump. And we think, good guess, we're hearing that Russia and Ukraine are going to come up with something. We don't know if it's going to happen or not, but they're leaking. You know, they're very good at leaking. So they're kind of sort of leaking right now that they're close to something. And the thought process is that Russia has sanctions against them on their oil, and if they remove the sanctions, they can sell oil big time again. You put more oil onto the market, that lowers prices, boom, 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 boom. I don't think it has anything to do with the economy, though the jobs numbers came out. They suck. The apologists for the president, even they couldn't spin it. We're letting you know you have some sort of I don't know if I call it a job recession, but job weakness. Does it have to do with artificial intelligence? Maybe. I don't know. It's just weak. Here's a good guess, though. What did we tell you for months here, daily, on this show? What did we tell you about the tariffs? And not just the tariffs, but the ever-changing of the tariffs on number, on product, on country. Kept changing and changing and changing. And due to the fact that our companies pay that tariff, yes, they lied to us. He lied to us. Due to the fact it's our companies, how the hell can they plan or even hire when they don't know what their expenses are going to be? I got to this day, I'm not sure what tariffs there are, and I have to tell you, when I search what tariffs are out there, I notice a bunch of it is aged. So I don't even know. But imagine if you, let's see, you buy a lot of tchotchkes from China, snow globes. Imagine. And all of a sudden there's a 50% tariff on it. So instead of you paying $10 for one, you're paying $15. And there goes your profits. You're going to hire people? Hell no. So there were tariffs. I don't know what's still out there, but I'm sure there. By the way, I still think there's 10 and 15% tariffs on almost everything. That's a good, not even a reach. Up next, what else we got for you? Lots to cover. This is the one and only Investor's Edge. By the way, I must circle back. I forgot to even mention that Microsoft cut their sales targets for what is known as agentic AI software by up to 50% after struggling to find buyers. So who the hell knows? Did I also mention that AI hyperscalers have issued more debt over the last 3 months than over the previous 3 years, and actually a lot more? So there's a lot of crap going on out there that... And again, we want it to work out. But I gotta tell you, and we've said this since day one, the numbers being projected are just obscene. Which takes me to something else. You know my buddy Charles Payne? I appear on the show very often. First off, I know him personally. What a good man. What a good man. And let me tell you another part. When you host shows and you have to interview people and you are interviewing people, I've seen interviews of people in the political world, in the financial world, and stuff like that. I don't know how they're able to hold their tongue and keep their emotions in check sometimes with some of the things that are said. So I'm watching my buddy Charles Payne's show today, and what I love about him is he very much believes in putting it out there. He has all kinds of people on the show. I love that. I like hearing from all kinds. So he had a guy on today who said in 15 years Bitcoin is going to be $50 million. Not 15, 50, 5-0. I believe he said Ethereum in 15 years would be 1.5 million. Ethereum price is 2,900. My good friend Charles Payne, when he said that, I'm wondering what's going through his mind. Because at 50 million, I'm pretty sure if you add it up or multiply, 50 million Bitcoin would be the total market cap or GDP of every country on Earth. I'm pretty sure I'm in the ballpark. I have to tell you, if I was doing that interview and somebody said 50 million, I don't know how I would be able to hold back. I think I would be, what in blue hell are you talking about? But hosts need to be respectful, and I get that. So more power to my buddy. But anyway, and I don't know who the guy is, and I'm not here to rip on him or anything. If it goes to 50 million, psh. But just remember, there's this other guy on the other channel. I keep getting videos from you guys. You keep sending me this guy, and I'm not naming him. But last month, he said Bitcoin would be 150,000 at the end of the year. And this is when it was at 100,000, 50%, but then he changed it to 200,000. So he said Bitcoin would go up 100% in a month and change. Then he changed it to end of January. And of course, now we've dropped from 120. You get the point. I am no fan of outrageous predictions. I'm really not. You know the only outrageous prediction I've ever seen come true is at the top or near the top, and I don't remember who, in Barron's, a technology guy came out and said that Cisco Systems, when it was the hottest thing going, was going to drop 80%. And he was right. By the way, I laughed at him at the time. Anyway, be careful. We're also very careful of the crash people, you know who they are. They put out books and they say they called it right every time and they didn't. The crash people. And by the way, one of the crash people said Bitcoin would be 350,000 at the end of this year. Again, we're not going to mention names. We're not out to personalize this. We're just here because we like you. And we want to make sure that when people come out with outrageous predictions, they're usually selling something. Newsletters and books and all that crap. And it's incumbent upon you. Just be smart. Just be smart. I mentioned oil. Bitcoin bounced a little today. Semis were weak. Advanced declines on New York, 17 to 27. On the NASDAQ, 20 to 25. Here's interesting. New yearly highs, new yearly lows on the New York, the same. And the NASDAQ, I've got 94 new yearly highs, 225 new yearly lows. And I must tell you, out of those 94 on the NASDAQ, there's not 94. There's a bunch of non-operating companies, I can promise you that. So internal's not great, but good day for the bigs on the NASDAQ. Let's see, new yearly highs on the NASDAQ. Yeah, you got a bunch that finished down, so they didn't finish good. Oh, my bad. You got a bunch of very small regional banks. They all finished down today. They all finished down. Most of them. But still a few small regional banks, new yearly highs on the NASDAQ today. Yeah, look at that. And that's a little bit of our story. We're hearing the president's going to have an Oval Office speech tomorrow at 8 p.m. They are teasing it. They are not saying what it's about. And then I believe, what's her name? Levitt, the press secretary, who I love. Forget what her handling of the press, and I'm not talking about the big substance, because her job is to tell you what the president says. I think she's fantastic at what she does. Anyway, she teased something about economics. I am in hopes it's not gifts. Hey, we're going to give you $2,000 each. I'm in hopes that's not what it is. I'm in hopes, listen carefully, no more of the overpromising. I don't want to hear the words golden age anymore, because if you don't get a golden age, I don't want to hear affordability is a hoax, which has been said. If that doesn't lose votes, I don't know what does. What I'm in hope is they've listened to this show. We're going to keep taxes low. We're going to get rid of onerous regulations. We're going to have the border continue to be secure. We're going to fight crime. And we're going to get the hell out of your way. That's what I'm hoping for. Of course, that's not what we're going to get. The president loves being involved in many ways, which does not thrill us. And nothing personal. That would go for any president. It would go for any president. Any president. And we just came off the worst president in history. The worst. I guess you could have been worse than Biden. But what he did with the border, he should have been impeached for that. To this day, we don't know who's in this country. Their vetting sucked. And boy, oh boy, the costs. We're just trying to figure that out. So that'll be tomorrow night. I don't think it's the announcement of the Fed. I think it's going to be something more important than that. So that'll be tomorrow. Yippee yay yay. As I said at the outset, the job numbers came in. The revisions were even worse than the numbers. They go back every month, and it's a tough market for the jobs. And that's why we've said to you here, make yourself indispensable at your companies if you work for somebody else. You know what that means. Hey, up next, this, that, and the other thing, or whatever else. Oh, yeah, Ford. That'll be up next. This is the one and only Investor's Edge. All right. Speaking of Joe Biden, I still remember when the worst president we've ever had said that when I think of climate change, I think of jobs. And as you know, they forced all these companies into electric vehicles. Have you seen the news on Ford today? Ford is taking a charge of $19.5 billion no longer plans to produce select larger electric vehicles where the business case has eroded due to lower than expected demand. So let's go back on this. The President Biden and his administration forced these companies into making things that did not have the demand, guaranteeing massive losses by the companies, not by Joe Biden. 19.8 billion. On top of that, high costs and regulatory charges. They're going to take majority in the fourth quarter, the rest 26 and 27. And they're going to do more gas because that's what people like. What a concept. Produce the products that people want and like. Don't produce the products that don't sell, so you take a $19 billion write-off. What a concept, huh? And of course, the media is complicit in defending this guy for all that time. Next, weed. Had another good day today. You know, our drug prevention president that is shooting up boats that are bringing in drugs, that same president who pardoned the ex-president, I guess he was the president of Honduras, that was found guilty of trafficking 400 tons of cocaine. You know, that president that cares so much about drugs now wants to make it easier to get weed, get more marijuana, regardless that they're all being told how bad it is for you. Just letting you know. I must tell you, I wish I had the president's ear. First off, New York City is one big, gigantic bong hit. You walk the city and all you do is smell weed. I don't care what anybody tells you. Marijuana is not good for you. And to continue to say, well, don't smoke tobacco and cigarettes. Oh, but let's legalize marijuana? Help me with that. And I know there's other forms. Fabulous. I'm just a big believer that anything that can change you and your appearance and your demeanor and your movements, I don't think is good news. You know who's celebrating? The people that make Kraft macaroni and cheese. The people who make Doritos. Because the munchies are going to be a bull market going forward. So I completely disagree with this one. I bet there's plenty of out there that disagree with me, but that's okay. That's okay. That's okay. Anyway, just letting you know the marijuana stocks, which were strong, gapped up big time. Let's see, when was it? It was Friday. Little rough day yesterday. Today had a strong day. Really good moves. One of the indexes, let's see, 4 days ago closed at $26.82. It's $41.22 at the close today. Damn, I wish I owned it. Unfortunately, I'm glad we haven't owned it for the last few years when we told you stay away, because that same index that closed at 41 today was 545 in 2019. Did I say 545? Yeah. And then you got some stocks like Aurora Cannabis. Do you know it hit a high of $1,503? It's $5.53 today. How about, here's a good one. Canopy Growth. What a name. Hit a high of $592. It's $1.83 today. By the way, these are all after a strong move up the last few days. Do not forget how they touted you on these marijuana stocks. They were the end-all, be-all. And we said to you, well, if everybody is able to grow marijuana, how is it possible all these companies are going to do well? And if your Uncle Biff, who lives around the corner, will sell it to you for cheaper, and he has the good stuff, much better than what's being sold at the stores, and you don't pay tax with the Uncle Biff, who do you get your marijuana from? Food for thought, ladies and gentlemen. By the way, we were asking questions back then. Little did we know they dropped 90 to 95%. Wait a minute, CGC, that's like 97%. Dang. Tough going. Anyway, I get there's still a good business for it. They got some of these places in New York City. Most are illegal, but they don't do anything about it. And by the way, I still remember years ago, I was in Aspen, Colorado at night. We just watched a concert in a bar. We watched Styx. Was in a bar doing a concert, and we're walking out, and the town is all dead and everything, and we turned the corner, but there was one place that had a line of like 100 people. We're thinking it's Haagen-Dazs or something. It was a marijuana place. Welcome to Aspen. Anyway, have a good evening. Drive carefully. When you get home, do like we do. Quite simple. Make sure you hug your family and hug your children. They will feel better. You will feel better. I promise. Stay well. Be well. Happy Hanukkah. Heading towards Christmas. Have a good night, all. Bye-bye.